This is some kind of an old friend. We already met him on the Mobile World Congress in February as a beta. Now we have the final product here. It's the LG Optimus F5. And it's bringing LTE in the middle class price segment for around about €350 at the moment without any contract. And that might be interesting for a lot of people. So we will have a closer look again on this final product. I'm trying to hold it in the light so that you can see the back. That's again with some very nice and sparkling things like on the Nexus S4 that's coming from LG, as you might know, but it's not a glass surface like on the Nexus. It's just plain plastic. But on the other hand, you can remove that back like this. And here we have that NFC antenna in the contacts. And as you can see, it's just regular plastic, but on the other hand, you can remove it and thus have that battery removed. But on the other hand, I don't know if you need to remove it a lot, because it's with 2,150 milliampere hours. It's a really big one, especially compared to the size of the display, and that's using the most power. So we have a relation of almost 43 milliampere hours per square millimeter display. So that's a value that's 20% above the average. So it could be that you're really coming good over the day with just one battery refill, and that you don't need a second battery at all. So let's see what the reality will bring. By the way, this is a camera with 5 megapixels photos, but nevertheless shooting videos in full HD. All right. And this is the slot for the micro SD card, so you can expand the internal memory up to 32 gigabyte officially, but in most cases a 64 gigabyte chip is working nevertheless, and that's a micro SIM card, of course. And coming to that memory size, internal memory is 8 gigabyte, and here we come to the first problem. Out of the box, we're talking about 4.8 gigabyte free memory, net memory available for the user. So that's the important value, 4.8 gigabyte. And as you might know, from beginning from Android 4, you don't have the chance to move your apps again to the SD card anymore, at least if you don't want to root your device, and that's something I would suggest doing only pros. So normally, like you and me, normal people can't do that. So you have to stand with your 4.8 gigabyte internal memory for everything, for apps, for dates, for contacts, for all what's system near information. You only can move to the SD card your photos, videos, music, Word documents, PDFs, and so on. And so you have to be to think carefully if that's enough for the next 2 years for you, 4.8 gigabyte internal memory. I'm coming more or less to the clue that this kind of combination of Android 4 and only 8 gigabyte internal memory should be removed from the market, because that's crazy. That's like building a Ferrari and only have a very tiny 1 liter for the fuel tank inside. So that's a crazy combination. Or at least you do it like Samsung. They published an update for the Galaxy S4 recently, and with that update it's again possible to move apps to the SD card without rooting the device. So there must be a way for the producer, for the manufacturer, to do so. So let's hope that all other manufacturers, like LG in this case, will follow that example, and that we will do an update and for bringing that feature again back. But unless you have to think carefully, and we don't know if an update like that will be provided by LG or all other manufacturers at the moment. So we have to wait how this will develop. But on the other hand, you have some advantages. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 dual-core processor, 1.2 gigahertz, and especially that display. That's a great one. Let me wipe this clear again, because this is IPS. Most of you, I guess, will know that. Let me go like this, that I can read in the meantime. You will know it from the iPhone. So IPS stands for really great contrast, like this one here. Let me bring it to landscape mode, like this one. So great contrast, and especially out from almost 180% angles. Right now it's very, very bright in here because of the lights and lamps, but nevertheless I hope you can see that you really can watch almost from every angle to the display and see what's going on there. Nevertheless, it's of course IPS is an LCD, so it's not AMOLED. So again, you have that backside illumination all the time on, and it's not the brightest one. Let me go to this one here, that white background. You can, I hope so, you can see that it's some, light gray more than a really brilliant white. So it's not the brightest display, I guess, but because it's IPS, it's, let's call it, enough. By the way, we're talking about 53 by 95 millimeters. So we have a diagonal of 4.28 inches, almost 4.3 inches. And we're talking about 550 by 960 pixels. So we come to a pixel density of 228 ppi. That's nonetheless, that's 29% below the average. And even if we compare it to the price of around about 350 euro without any contract at the moment, this is already still some 15% below the average. So that could be a little bit better, but nevertheless, if we go a little bit closer and put it that way, maybe would be a good idea. And so that you can see that's the menu, the app launcher, and you can see that's not the biggest and brightest texts and types here, but you can read it without any problem. So if you don't want a high-class multimedia device, this is quite enough, and I guess you won't choose this one. There are other ones with full HD displays at the market for those people, but for just having a normal smartphone what's doing whatever, or great all-rounder, like, let me call it like this one, this is exactly enough. Above this one, you know those tabs maybe from LG. That's something familiar, and you can move your icons by drag and drop, and if you click down here you can move and sort by date or by alphabet. That's something most people should know from LG. And by the way, we have LTE, just as I said, and we have also dual cell HSDPA, and that means that you can use downloads from two UMTS cells at a time. So you're doubling your download rate from 21 to 42 megabit per second if your provider is doing so, and that's not the regular one. That depends on your country and your network operator, but in some cases this might be helpful, especially because on LTE in most cases you need big data options, or at least some additional LTE options for G options. So this dual cell HSDPA is running in UMTS, in plain regular UMTS, so you don't have to pay any additional fees for that. So this might be of interest for you. And the last thing I wanted to show you is this message center over here, and you know this one from LG. You can scroll down here. You have quick memo, you will have your Q slide, these on top, second level, you know, little tiny small apps like Sony is it calling. So you have this one, and especially I love this, that you can adjust your your brightness of the display right here, and you don't have to place an additional icon on the home screen or go into the settings. The only thing I'm just a little bit disappointed is that very tiny icon going into the settings over here. That could be a little bit bigger, I think, but nevertheless it's working, as you can see. And here we are in the settings. And by the way, the other thing is I don't know at the moment if there is no brightness sensor or if you can adjust it, because if you see here, you can have only this one, but there's no option, no checkbox for activating or deactivating any light sensor. But it's not results if I'm putting this one here. I don't know, maybe there is no one. Let me figure that out in the future. So, okay, I hope that's enough for the moment for some first impressions of the LG Optimus F5. Available from right now on, just as I told you, the price from LG officially is 449 euros, but already available in the web for around about 350 euros without any contract. All right, thanks for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you back soon.